Hello and welcome to week 4 of AC1110 Accounting Fundamentals. Remember that the contact information is here with the phone number and the email address. We also have office hours on Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. These are not required, but it is good time that is carved out for you if you have questions at that time. It is in a question answer format and it's a different phone number to call in. So if you call into this number here and use this conference code line, then multiple people can call in. Then as questions happen, we can use this as needed. We'll use this software as needed at that time, and that could help us to work through problems like Excel and whatnot. So first call into here, and if we need the screen share software to take a look at some other things, that's when we will jump into there. I do suggest using this screen share software with other folks as well, and the students, if you so choose, with groups to study and whatnot. You can contact each other with participants over here, send a Moodle message, and then you can experiment with other types of software to work through problems together in groups if you so choose, such as Skype, such as Join.me. There's other softwares that can do screen share ability, and those could be useful to do group work while in an online class. Going back here to Moodle. Also, just remember that most of the problems do have hyperlinks to videos to help walk through the problems, and those hyperlinks are generally pointing to this website. So you could try to go to this website directly if you wanted to, rather than go through the hyperlinks. It's going to be under Charter, and it's going to be under Accounting Fundamentals. That's where most of the links will be pointing. Going to go back to Moodle Rooms here. If that's running slow, then try to go to the YouTube channel directly. I've posted most of them to YouTube. Those are here, so you can go into here. And you'd have to scroll down if you went in this way to Charter College, and this will have a list of the videos as well. Now, I also recommend trying a different browser too. If something's not running as quick as it could, I'm using Chrome right now, works pretty good. That's one I would try, or Firefox tend to work better. So I'm going to go back to Moodle Rooms here, going to go into week 4, which is the week we are in, of course. The layout should start to be looking similar here, where we have the objectives up top, then the topics, then the lessons. We're going to be covering Chapter 4 and Chapter 5. We started Chapter 4 last time. We're concentrating mainly on Chapter 4 this time. We'll start Chapter 5. We will finish Chapter 5 next time, and that will be it. We won't be starting any new chapters next time, just covering Chapter 5. So to see these chapters, of course, that's going to be in McGraw-Hill's Connect up here, and then you want to go to your ebook there to read those chapters, and then go to the Learnsmarts and take a look at that information to answer questions. Back to Moodle Rooms. All the information that we need to do then is in Moodle Rooms. So remember, from the discussions down, this is where you really want to check off that you have everything completed, because although much of the work is done in McGraw-Hill, it's not all listed in McGraw-Hill as it is all listed here. So you want to make sure to go through these, check them off as you go, even if the work's done in McGraw-Hill, so that you can keep a good track of what you've done, what you haven't done, what you need to do. So before we go over these line item by line item, let's just take a look at what I recommend for every class, and that is to pick up 100% of the discussion forum posts. They're worth 21% of the grade. You have the most control over that. Then do as best you can to pick up as full credit, as close to full credit, or as many points as possible on the assignments and the homework. You have the most control other than the discussions over those. I know there's a lot of homework in here, so you may not get full credit on it, but there are also a lot of resources, so you shouldn't be getting zeros on the homeworks and the assignments. Make sure to go in there and use the resources. And then the quizzes here, if you pick up full credit on everything else, you have a good point cushion total to go into the quiz. That's how I would approach these classes, and then make sure to take the quiz by the end of the week, because it is multiple choice. And even if you do not do as well as you hope, if you go in with a good point total cushion, we should be okay. So I'm going to go back here to Moodle Rooms. Let's take a look at these line item by line item. We have the discussion forums. We need a minimum of 4 posts to get full credit on the discussion forums. Most students will need more than 4 posts because the posts accumulate upward. So they're not like we're going to grade one particular post. Basically, you can get to full credit with a minimum of 4 posts, but most students will need more than 4 posts if the posts are not as good as they could be. Now, to get a full credit on the post, we could reply to other people, we could answer a question, we can ask a question, but we need to add content to the post. So if you're responding to someone else and you kind of rephrase what they just said in different words in kind of agreement, that's good, but it's not going to give you a lot of points unless there's some new content being added to it. Also, I'm going to add a lot of questions. Don't let that intimidate you. I'm trying to add a lot of questions, so there's going to be a lot of resources so people can make sure to get full credit on the discussion forum post, as well as to cover as much topics as we can during that time period. So then let's go down to the assignments. One's going to be in Connect. So the first one is in Connect. We're going to check it off here, even though it's in McGraw-Hill's Connect. McGraw-Hill's Connect being up here. So within Connect, we'll go into week 4 here. And then we have, this is the assignment we just looked at. Now remember, I would probably do the Learnsmarts first, but this is the assignment we just looked at. It's the longer assignment here. Just want to make sure you remember that although this is a long assignment, you have the resources of this paperclip. This paperclip is not to be turned in. It's just for your references. But if you open this, then you'll get an Excel document that will look like this. It'll have a video that will help you out here. If you're having trouble opening that video, I suggest trying a different browser on it, such as Chrome. Then you've got your example problem here, which will give you a lot of the information. You could then work this in the Excel worksheet if you so choose. You don't have to, but you could use this example sheet, for example, to work a lot of the problems. So once you have this open, I'm going to go back to Connect. Then you may want to open this problem and use the Excel worksheet to populate this problem. All right, so let's go back to Connect, back to Moodle Rooms. As you said, that the second assignment that we need to check off is in Moodle Rooms. So if I click on that one, then we can open this assignment here. This will be an Excel worksheet, a lot smaller one, with some instructional videos as well. And then you could then upload this one here when you are done. So make sure to upload this one here, not to Connect. If you have uploaded these assignments to Connect in the past, then go back in there and upload them here, and I'll give you credit on those. I'm going to go back up to the cookie trail. I'm going to go back up to the current week we are in, week 4. And the next items we have, of course, are the Learnsmarts. They're in Connect. They're going to be the homeworks in Connect. So within McGraw-Hill's Connect up here, those are going to be these 2 homeworks. Just remember, there's only 25 questions. So once you've completed 25, don't keep going unless you want to practice for the quiz. But don't feel like you've got hundreds of questions to do. There should be 25. If you go back in there, then you're basically practicing after that point. So I'm going to go back to Moodle Rooms. Then the quiz, of course, also in Connect. Make sure to take that by Sunday. Can't usually make up the quizzes unless there's an unusual circumstance. Unlike most of the homework where we do have some time that we can pick up late work. So I'm going to scroll back up here and look at the gradebook now. So gradebook going to be up here on the left-hand side, green icon. Remember that at the end of the week, I have until Tuesday following the close, which happens on Sunday, to implement the grades into the gradebook. For example, week 3 closes on Sunday. I then have until Tuesday to finalize everything up through the end of Sunday, up through week 3. So that means that if you go through here, you want to go in there on Tuesday and just make sure that everything has been populated the way you know it should be because you've been tracking the whole thing. So for example, week 3 here should populate to be 100% because everybody's working really hard to make sure to get full credit on the discussion forums. Quizzes should then populate to here, the midterm, and then the assignments are going to populate for week 3, and the same with the homework, of course. Then if anything is not at full credit at that time, if you have questions, then let me know, and then think about whether you can pick up the late work. If you decide to pick up the late work, you can do the late work. Just note that the grade will not change automatically until the next grading cycle, or may not until the next grading cycle has been completed. For example, after week 4, then I have until Tuesday to pick up all late work that was done in week 4 as well as the work through week 4, and then you want to check it on Tuesday again following week 4 and make sure that everything has been updated in accordance to your records as you've been following through as we have been going. So that's going to be it for week 4. So have a good week 4.